Tonight on the America's Car-Mart Football Report, Thanksgiving week means we've reached the playoff semifinals in the largest classifications, quarterfinals in the others. 3 of the 4 teams still standing in 7A and 5A are from the same conferences. Some of these high-stakes playoff showdowns are repeats from the regular season. After tonight, only 18 teams will advance to play in December, the month when champions are crowned. And over the next 30 minutes, we'll tell you exactly who they are. I'm David Wallace. Loosen that belt. You'll need another slice of that pecan pie to go with this football feast. The America's Car-Mart Football Report starts now.
Ready, set, hut.
Oh man, I'm feeling stuffed already, but we've got extra helpings of football wisdom. I'm joined by the usual turkeys. Just kidding. Barry Grooms, Chris, and Chad Hooten. Let's start at the top with Class 7A rankings as they appear on Hootens.com. And 7A begins again with the Bryant Hornets at number 1, aiming for their 12th straight playoff win. Number 2, Conway, aiming for a rematch with Bryant in the state title game next Saturday night at the stadium. North Little Rock checks in at number 3, the Charging Wildcats, looking for their 6th straight state title game appearance, but they'll have to win at Bryant. 4th-ranked Fayetteville beat Conway earlier this season. Can the Purple Dogs beat the Wampus Cats twice in the same year? 5th is Cabot after ending its season with a heartbreaking loss at Fayetteville. Then 6 through 10 are all finished for the year. Bentonville at 6, followed by Fort Smith Northside, Rogers at 8, Bentonville West at 9, and Springdale Harbor at number 10. Well, Chad Hooten, the game of the week, what a good one. It's number 2 Conway traveling up to the Northwest to face number 3 Fayetteville.
Fayetteville won the 7A West, won it outright for the first time since 1963. Last week, after a first-round bye, Fayetteville found itself down by 21 points in the second half to Cabot, but never fear. The Purple Dogs, with Bladen Fike at quarterback, throwing it to Isaiah Satania. They've got the Razorback recruit, Caden Turner, at linebacker, and Fayetteville rallied to win that with 3 minutes to spare, 34-27. Now here comes Conway. The Wampus Cats only lost by 3 to Bryant in that season finale thriller, and at Fayetteville in the season opener, 41-24 back in August. The Wampus Cats put up 530 yards the first time they played Fayetteville, but they gave up 631. But Conway's better. Its sophomore quarterback is now 9-2 as a starter, and the Wampus Cats are the favorite on Hootens.com by 1 at Fayetteville.
Yeah, Chad, that sophomore is Donovan Amalo, and he is the real thing. Last week ran for a touchdown, completed 2 scoring strikes, and the Wampus Cats win. Well, whichever team survives goes to the stadium and awaits the winner of the other one, either number 1 Bryant or number 3 North Little Rock.
Yeah, David, here we go again. Normally this is the state championship game. They've met 3 consecutive seasons in the finals. Bryant's won every time. In fact, Bryant has beaten North Little Rock 6 times in a row. But even more impressive, they're riding a 40-game win streak against in-state competition. Make it 41 in a row for Bryant. North Little Rock doesn't make it back to the finals. The Hornets are 7-point favorites at home over North Little Rock, so Hootens.com predicts the rematch, Conway and Bryant, next Saturday night at War Memorial Stadium.
Ready, set, hut.
Now to Class 6A, and let's look at the Hootens.com top 10. It's led by the Greenwood Bulldogs, playing host to number 2 Parkview. As you can guess, that's our game of the week in 6A. At 3 is El Dorado, 9-2 on the year. Then you have Marion at 4. 5th-ranked Benton won the West outright, but the Panthers were knocked out by Marion last week. Lake Hamilton is 6th, losers of 3 of their last 4 after starting 8-0. 7th is Jonesboro. The Golden Hurricanes shared the East League title with El Dorado this year. 8th is Russellville. Then you have Mountain Home at number 9. The Bombers ended their season last week at Greenwood. 10th, the Sylvan Hills Bears. Well, Chad Hooten, the game of the week. Of course it is. You can't get better than this. Number 2, Little Rock Parkview at number 1, Greenwood.
David, Parkview ran over Greenwood by 20 points in the conference opener back in September. But Greenwood is much better because they're healthier now. The Bulldogs were without several starters, including quarterback Hunter Houston. After losing at Benton by a point, Greenwood has been phenomenal. Shut out Lake Hamilton 35-0. Rolled up Mountain Home a week ago. This is Greenwood Greenwood's time of the year. They're aiming for their 11th state championship, all since 2000, and Hootens.com thinks they're going to get revenge and play for that title next Saturday at noon. Greenwood is a 7-point favorite over Parkview.
All right, let's see which team gets to the stadium and takes on either number 4 Marion or number 3 El Dorado. Chad, that's the other semifinal in 6A.
And it's another rematch, David. El Dorado won this one big. Mercy ruled Marion in mid-October, but the Patriots haven't lost since. Marion's head coach Lance Clark was a defensive coordinator at Little Rock Christian, hired from Alabama, came up, did a great job, helped Little Rock Christian beat PA in the finals a couple of years ago with his defense. His team is peaking in November. They just got physical with Benton a week ago, won on the road, but they've never beaten El Dorado. The Wildcats are 6-0 all-time against Marion, including playoff victories back in 2008, 2011, 2014, and 2016. El Dorado is ultra-talented. They're at home. They've got the quarterback, Sharman Rester, who's totaled more than 3,900 yards of offense this year. Hootens.com going with the Wildcats, not by a mercy rule this time, but they're a 4-point favorite over Marion.
Well, Chad, if El Dorado makes it, they're still in line for their 10th state title, but they haven't been to the championship game since 2013.
All right, David, can't wait for kickoff. I'm Chad Hooten for America's Car Mart. America's Car Mart is all in for Arkansas high school football, and when you shop at America's Car Mart, they're all in for you. From purchase to payoff, Car Mart will work with you and your individual situation. It's personal for Car Mart. Just go see for yourself why Car Mart is different from all the rest. You can stay connected by following Car Mart on social media or online at car-mart.com. America's Car Mart, keeping you on the road and good neighbors in our communities. Coming up next, more from the America's Car Mart football studios. David Wallace and the Hootens crew with more rankings, analysis, and predictions next on the America's Car Mart Football Report.
Not all college ends with a bachelor's degree. There are shorter-term programs that help students get to work in a profession they love. Best of all, Arkansas needs qualified workers in these high-demand fields: healthcare, industry manufacturing, and information technology. There are scholarships such as Arkansas Workforce Challenge and Our Future that will help pay for classes. Apply today at scholarships.adhe.edu.
Shorty Smalls, good food, big fun.
Hey, football fans, Shorty Smalls Restaurant in Little Rock is serving up all your favorites, like our jumping off the bone tender ribs, fresh salads, delicious burgers and steaks, and the largest mozzarella cheese sticks you ever wrapped your lips around. So why not make Shorty Smalls part of your game day celebration? We're in Little Rock, conveniently located at the corner of Rodney, Parham, and Shackelford.
Don't miss the return of Nighthawk Athletics this fall at National Park College in Hot Springs. With baseball, softball, cross country, men and women's basketball, and newly added men and women's soccer, Nighthawk Nation has something for every sports fan in the Spa City. Cheer on the Nighthawks this season as NPC competes for an NJCAA Region 2 championship and continues to make sports history here in Hot Springs. For more information, visit np.edu/athletics. Get 'em Hawks!
We're back in the America's Car Mart studios. America's Car Mart, keeping you on the road. Let's move on now to Class 5A. And the Hootens.com rankings begin again with the Pulaski Academy Bruins. Then the Greenbrier Panthers with their best year in a long time at number 2, followed by Whitehall at 3. Little Rock Christian moving up one spot to number 4. Nettleton drops 1. The Raiders won the 5A East title, had an unblemished record, but then were eliminated last week. 6 is Camden Fairview. The Cardinals won the 5A South, but also lost last week to end their year. 7 is Wynn. Then you have Magnolia at 8, Bologna at 9, and Farmington rounding out the top 10. Barry, let's start with the game of the week in 5A. It's number 4, Little Rock Christian, at number 2, Whitehall.
This is a rematch from Week 5 in which Whitehall won 14-10. Bulldogs had to rally in that game, though, with 2 late touchdowns. Whitehall's in the semifinals for the second time in 3 years under Coach Bobby Bolding. And the Bulldogs are led by senior quarterback Matthew Martinez, and the defense features 10 seniors, which give up 12 points per game. Little Rock Christian's got a stingy defense as well. The Warriors have held 6 teams to a touchdown or less this season, and on offense they're led by senior Javian Dyer Jones, who has over 1,600 yards points and 20 touchdowns this fall. Hootens.com picks Little Rock Christian by 2.
All right, the winner goes to the stadium and will take on either number 1 Pulaski Academy or number 2 Greenbrier.
Talk about tradition here. PA in the semifinals for the 12th time since 2009. Greenbrier for the first since 2009. Greenbrier had to overcome some injuries last week and beat Wynn 14-0. PA last week fell behind to Magnolia 7-0, but then cruised to an easy Mercy Rule victory. Hootens.com picks the Bruins by 16.
All right, thanks, Barry. Folks, pay attention to his picks for the year. He's at 89% in Class 5A.
Okay, David, sounds like some great games this week. I'm Chad Hooten with Hooten's Arkansas Football for America's Car Mart. And just like all the hard-working high school football players, the folks at Car-Mart work hard to keep you on the road. Car-Mart knows that buying a vehicle is a big decision. When you shop at Car-Mart, they're there for you. Car-Mart cares about you and your vehicle ownership. You know what? You can save time at the dealership by starting your car buying journey online at car-mart.com. It's America's Car-Mart, keeping you on the road. That's their pledge to you. And coming up next, more from the America's Car Mart Football Report studio. David and the Hootens gang with analysis of more matchups and predictions. Next on the America's Car Mart Football Report.
Going to college may not look the same as it has before, but you have the power to move forward. There are over 1,000 hands-on or online programs in Arkansas designed to put you to work, and they qualify for state scholarships and grants. Healthcare, education, computer technology, industry technology, and more. Take your next step forward. Visit explorearcareers.com with instructions about how to apply.
You're listening to a public service announcement from the Arkansas Attorney General. The opioid crisis hits too close to home, killing hundreds of Arkansans each year and tearing families apart. On average, there are 62 pills prescribed for every man, woman, and child. Together, let's educate everyone, enforce the laws, and eliminate this epidemic. Let your Attorney General do the fighting for you. Call 800-482-8982 or visit arkansasag.gov.
There's a lot to say about the deliciousness of steaks, burgers, and kebabs, and the wonders of a summer cookout. But we figure, why go through all the trouble when beef can speak for itself? Just listen. Translation, beef. It's what's for dinner.
Brought to you by the Arkansas Beef Council.
On to 4A we go. David Wallace with you on this America's Car Mart Football Report. No changes in the top 4 on Hootens.com. Number 1 is Shiloh Christian, and the Saints have been number 1 since week 8 of 2020. And number 2, you have Warren, followed by Stuttgart at 3. Joe T. Robinson is 4th. Crossit is up 1 to number 5 after winning impressively at Ozark. Arkadelphia moves up 2 spots to number 6. Then Rivercrest up 3 to number 7. Lamar jumps 5 spots into the top 10 for the first time this year, and they check in at number 8. Then Ashdown at 9, Ozark at number 10. The Hillbillies dropping 5 places after that loss to Crossit. Well, Barry, our game of the week is a rematch in South Arkansas. It's number 3 Stuttgart at number 2 Warren.
These two teams met way back in week 2 this year. Warren won that one by 20 points despite injuries to 2 starters on offense. Those guys were Cedric Calvert and lineman Connor McDermott. Both of those guys are back, along with senior quarterback Riley Cornish, who was injured earlier this season. Stuttgart gets into the quarterfinals after beating Elkins last week by 29 points. Senior quarterback Tymir Coppins had a huge game. He threw 2 touchdown passes, had 7 tackles, and forced a fumble on defense. But Hootens.com picks the Lumberjacks by 6.
All right, Barry, that's in the bottom half of the bracket in these quarterfinals. The winner of that game will face either number 8 Lamar or number 4 Joe T. Robinson. Lamar's been surprising this year, but has to go on the road to face the Senators. Hootens.com likes Joe T. Robinson by 28. Let's move to the top half of the bracket now, where 5th-ranked Crossit will welcome number 6 Arkadelphia.
This is a rematch from the 2019 quarterfinals when Crossit stopped Arkadelphia on the 1-yard line in a 1-point victory. Bring that up, David, because Crossit had 7 sophomores starting that game, including Tyreek Jones, Dwayne Ashford, and Jackson Moore, and those guys are playing a huge role for the Eagles this fall. Moore's the leading receiver, and Tyreek Jones is the quarterback of this dynamic team. Arkadelphia has a couple of guys who played in that game, and the Badgers are in the quarterfinals for the fourth time in 5 years. And they're led on offense by senior running back Jay Sean Davis and receiver Braylon Bailey. Hootens.com picks cross it by 1.
All right, Barry, the winner gets either number 1 Shiloh Christian or number 7 Rivercrest. This is a rematch of last year's state title game. It's at Rivercrest. Hootens.com likes Shiloh Christian by 25.
All right, David, getting a little closer to kickoff. I'm Chad Hooten for America's Car Mart, keeping you on the road. It's America's Car Mart, and they will do all they can to keep you on the road. America's Car Mart makes it easy to buy. They offer affordable, quality vehicles, low down payments, plus optional service contracts to offer a little peace of mind. And if you're credit challenged, America's Car Mart is the place for you. Affordable used vehicles with low down payments, flexible payment plans. It's America's Car Mart. And coming up next, it's more of the America's Car Mart Football Report.
Train, gain, enhance, enrich. Train for a job, gain new skills, enhance your career, or enrich your future in one of Arkansas's 34 public colleges and universities. In addition to the private institutions, Arkansas is rich for opportunities, including scholarships, to help pay your way. The Universal College Scholarship Application Portal opens on October 1st. Apply today at scholarships.adhe.edu.
Nicely done, Beef. When football fans everywhere cheer for their team, they're cheering for you too, because your savory snacks fuel the gridiron battle. With your tasty sliders, hearty chilies, and drool-worthy steaks, every option is an MVP. Most valuable protein. So gather around the TV and get cooking at BeefIt'sWhat'sForDinner.com. Funded by beef farmers and ranchers.
And we're back with the 3A rankings on Hootens.com. Top-ranked Prescott takes on Newport for the second time this season. Second-ranked McGee travels to number 5 Hoxie for a rematch of a 2020 semifinal. Second-ranked McGee travels to number 5 Hoxie for a rematch of a 2020 semifinal. Boonville, Harding Academy, and Hoxie stay at numbers 3, 4, and 5, respectively. Glen Rose moves up a spot to number 6 after dispatching Camden Harmony Grove last week. And Centerpoint jumps 3 spots to number 7 after upsetting Charleston on the road. Newport, Camden Harmony Grove, and Charleston round out the top 10. Well, Chris Hooten, the game of the week takes us back to Lawrence County, where number 5 Hoxie plays host to number 2 McGee.
David McGee has won 7 state titles, with its last coming in 1999. A week ago, the Owls ousted Melbourne 68-28. We asked Coach Marcus Haddock a couple of weeks ago about senior fullback Channing Woodson because we hadn't seen much of him this season. Haddock just winked and said he was waiting for the right time to cut him loose. Well, Woodson got loose for 286 yards and 3 touchdowns against Melbourne. At Hoxie, Coach Tom Sears called last week's 42-zip win over Cedarville his team's most complete game. Senior quarterback Cade Forrester completed 8 of 10 passes for 229 yards and 3 touchdowns. He ran for another 104 yards and a touchdown. Senior linebacker Jace Benesh logged 16 tackles and 2 interceptions. A year ago, the Owls beat Hoxie 20-18 in the state semifinals. Different round this year, but same results. McGee is a 6-point favorite at Hoxie.
All right, Chris, whichever team comes out of that will face either 8th-ranked Newport or number 1 Prescott. This game down in South Arkansas. Newport opened 2021 with a 56-6 loss to Prescott, but the Greyhounds welcome the rematch in their quest for a 4th state championship. Newport might even match Prescott's speed, but not its depth. Senior running back Jalen Hobson has rushed for 1,880 yards, scored 30 touchdowns. Junior quarterback Karsten Poole has passed for 2,195 yards and 26 passing TDs, but it's still Prescott. Maybe not 56-6 big, but still pretty big. The Curly Wolves favored by 28. Let's go to the other side of the bracket where 3rd-ranked Boonville will entertain number 6 Glen Rose in this quarterfinal.
David Glen Rose 2 losses came to 4A Malvern and to 5 AAA champion and top-ranked Prescott. For Boonville, senior quarterback Brandon Ray hasn't thrown an interception this year, but he's only thrown 14 passes in his 13 starts. Ray has rushed for more than 1,200 yards and 27 11 touchdowns. Hoots.com likes Ray and Boonville by 18 over Glen Rose.
And the final game to talk about in AAA is in Searcy, 4th-ranked Harding Academy and number 7 Center Point, a possible trap game for the two-time defending champion Harding Academy Wildcats, who last week whipped Rison 48-20. Harding Academy has won 8 state titles overall. Center Point has never won a state championship. Center Point senior quarterback Josh Lawson has passed for nearly 3,000 yards with 30 touchdowns passing. Harding Academy junior quarterback Cade Smith has completed 70% of his passes for 2,400 yards and 22 TDs through the air. Hootens.com going with the defending champs, Harding Academy, favored by 21.
Ready, set, hut, hut.
Let's finish fast now with the Class 2A rankings on Hootens.com. McCrory occupied the top spot for 1 week at midseason, and the Jaguars are number 1 again with just 3 weeks to go on the year. Clarendon moves up to number 2, followed by Fordyce at number 3. Number 4, Desart goes back to McCrory for an anticipated rematch. 5th-ranked Hazen knocked off previously unbeaten, and then number 1 Bigelow a week ago. Bigelow drops to number 6 after ending its season. Number 7 Magnet Cove plays host to Fordyce, and we'll preview that one for you coming up. 8th-ranked Poen and number 9 EPC are still alive, but it's season over. Quitman rounds out the top 10. Well, Chris Hooten, the game of the week is a rivalry, and the stakes are even higher. Number 4 Desart traveling to number 1 McCrory.
David, this was a hard-hitting ball game back in week 1 when McCrory won 34-26 by rushing for 238 yards. For the season, senior quarterback Kason Campbell has passed for 1,200 yards and 11 touchdowns with just 3 interceptions. Senior running back Reed Kennan has rushed for a team-high 1,142 yards and 17 touchdowns for McCrory. For Desart, junior slot back Trevion Reed has rushed for 830 yards, 18 touchdowns, and junior fullback Jack Kirby has carried for over 1,000 yards. Hoots.com picks number 1 McCrory again, this time by 6 over Desart.
All right, Chris, those two teams in pretty close proximity, and another team in that region is 5th-ranked Hazen. The Hornets go to number 8 Poen. Hazen knocked off then number 1 Bigelow 16-13 last week, with junior quarterback Luke King completing 16 of 30 passes for 195 yards and a touchdown for the year. King has passed for 2,662 yards with 30 TDs. Poen senior quarterback Colton Lowe rushed for 222 yards and 5 TDs in a 21-point win at Dirks a week ago. This week, Hootens.com picking Hazen by 8. Let's go to the other side of the bracket where one of the quarterfinals, Chris, has number 3 Fordyce traveling to number 7 Magnet Cove.
David, 5AA champion Magnet Cove has won 5 straight games, bolstered by a defense that has allowed just 19 points during that run. Two-time defending state champion Fordyce counters with the biggest linemen left in 2A football. They averaged 290 pounds across the offensive line, 275 on the defensive front. Hootens.com likes number 3 Fordyce by 24 at Magnet Cove.
And the winner will move on to face either number 9 East Poinsett County or number 2 Clarendon. Clarendon hosting this one. The second-ranked Lions blew out Desart 47-0 3 weeks ago, bombed Bearden 56-6 in week 11, and shut out Lafayette County 43-0 last week. 10 ball carriers combined on 28 rushing attempts for 245 yards and 3 TDs in that game against Lafayette County. 3AA runner-up EPC has won 5 straight games, including a 28-20 mild upset of Quitman last week. No upsets this time, though. Second-ranked Clarendon is the pick on Hootens.com by 19.
All right, David, getting me ready for some football. I'm Chad Hooten of Hooten's Arkansas Football for America's Car Mart. Did you know, just like this America's Car Mart football report is on more than 20 stations around the state, Car Mart serves over 20 communities in Arkansas. They're a different kind of car dealership. Their commitment to service and excellence is second to none. And when you buy from Car Mart, they do everything they can to get you into a quality used vehicle and keep you on the road until payoff. They offer shorter contracts, lower interest rates, and low down payments. A flexible payment plan. Start your buying experience at car-mart.com. It's America's Car Mart. And coming up next, more of the America's Car Mart Football Report.
Not all college ends with a bachelor's degree. There are shorter-term programs that help students get to work in a profession they love. Best of all, Arkansas needs qualified workers in these high-demand fields: healthcare, industry manufacturing, and information technology. There are scholarships such as Arkansas Workforce Challenge and Our Future that will help pay for classes. Apply today at scholarships.adhe.edu.
Shorty Smalls, good food, big fun.
Shorty Smalls Brunch is back by popular demand, featuring our classic Eggs Benedict with Shorty's Lemon Hollandaise, our signature Egg and Ham Chimichanga, Shorty's Southern Benedict, and the Border Stop. And don't forget about our 99-cent champagne and mimosas. So get on down to Shorty Smalls this Sunday for brunch. We're conveniently located in Little Rock at the corner of Rodney, Parham, and Shackelford.
You're listening to a public service announcement from the Arkansas Attorney General. The opioid crisis hits too close to home, killing hundreds of Arkansans each year and tearing families apart. On average, there are 62 pills prescribed for every man, woman, and child. Together, let's educate everyone, enforce the laws, and eliminate this epidemic. Let your Attorney General do the fighting for you. Call 800-482-8982 or visit arkansasag.gov.
There's a lot to say about the deliciousness of steaks, burgers, and kebabs, and the wonders of a summer cookout. But we figure, why go through all the trouble when beef can speak for itself? Just listen. Translation, beef. It's what's for dinner.
Brought to you by the Arkansas Beef Council.
That does it on the America's Carmike Football Report for tonight and for the year, in fact. We have certainly enjoyed bringing this fun little exercise and probing analysis to you every week. Check out the website, Hootens.com, where you'll find a feature on Harrisburg's Samuel Moore, this week's First Community Bank Scholar Athlete of the Week. Also keep up with all of these playoff games on the high school scoreboard, powered by First Security. For the last time, for Barry Grooms, for Chad and Chris Hooten, I'm David Wallace. We'll see you at the stadium.